In last episode, we finally got our fancy new elytra and then also built this axolotl sanctuary in Squishy's memory. And in today's episode, I would like to build a fishing village and incorporate an automatic sugarcane farm within the village. So far, the axolotls have been doing just fine in here. I've checked in on them a couple of times since last episode, and honestly, they're living their best little axolotl lives. I know I said that last time, but I think I mean it for real this time. I've always been meaning to do something with the land around our dock, and we're actually going to get to that in today's episode. So the plan is to build a fishing village, but unfortunately, there's just really not enough space around the river. So the plan is to build a village out over the lake, which is going to be really cool. I've never done anything like that, but we're going to try to do that in today's episode. Sometimes Minecraft villages will just automatically generate out over a body of water, and we're kind of going to replicate that in this episode. And then for the sugarcane farm, I think I'm just going to put it inside of maybe this hill here or that hill over there. I know that sugarcane farms and fishing villages don't necessarily go hand in hand, but you know, sugarcane, water, fishing, water, it just kind of makes sense. So for this village, I think I want to build with spruce and then oak. I want to keep the tones a little bit lighter for this village, and then also maybe some acacia. I think that acacia could be a nice accent within the village. It's definitely not going to be a main building block, but maybe we can accent some bits with the acacia. So periodically, I will be chopping down the occasional spruce tree and also gathering more acacia logs, but I think we're going to go ahead and just jump right in and start planning out this village. I guess I'll go ahead and load up a shulker box with some of the items that I want to build with. Of course, spruce, and I have lots here, so I'm just going to grab lots of spruce and then all the acacia that I have, and also lots of oak. And I'll just fill it up. I don't know exactly what I'm going for. I haven't really planned anything out, actually. We're kind of just going to do the planning process together. So the plan is to kind of have some branching docks that have houseboats kind of branching off of the docks. So I'm just going to start placing down some blocks and see what happens. I think I'll start off with lots of slabs, and of course I will texture this and make it look a lot better than I'm about to make it look now, but I just need to get an idea down. So far I've kind of built this main dock. Now I want to build some smaller docks kind of branching off from this one, so maybe some going this way and then maybe turning, maybe a couple going this way and then also turning. And then from there I will kind of sketch out some ideas for some buildings that I want to place on the dock, because I want there to be a lot of cute little fishing houses on the water, kind of like houseboats. I actually had an idea. What if this main dock kind of goes all the way over here to this mountain, and then we can build a sugarcane farm in the mountain? That way we have a very clear pathway leading straight to the sugarcane farm. So maybe some of the villagers fish for a living and some of the villagers work in the sugarcane farm for a living. So I'm going to go ahead and make this dock go all the way over there to the mountain. And that also makes our village so much bigger with it going all the way over there. And then we'll have some kind of like cute archway or doorway or something like that. Now I just need to make a couple of branches off of this main dock. And now we kind of have something that we can work with for the fishing village. Now I want to place down some houses, or some blueprints of houses rather, and figure out how I want to fit them within the village. Again, we're just really planning this here together. I don't really have too much of a vision, so we're just going to see what happens. That is the name of the game here. We're just going to place down blocks and see what happens. So maybe I'll use some oak to kind of place down some of these houses. Maybe we can kind of have houses like this. I know it's very small, but we're going to be building a lot of houses. So I definitely would rather build lots of smaller houses than a big house or just a couple of bigger houses. And then I want to kind of make like these floating areas almost underneath each house. So kind of underneath it, it looks like it's floating, you know, kind of. That's what I was going for at least. And then I just added some trapdoors just to add a little bit more variety. But of course, we had to add lots more variety throughout this whole house. And also, rest in peace, poor squid. That's probably going to be happening a lot, honestly. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get a couple more houses in. Maybe we'll do like a cool diagonal house, maybe like a circular house or something. I definitely want lots of variety in the shapes of houses. Maybe not very big houses, but I at least want them to have some variety. All right, so we have 5 buildings, maybe. I think maybe we can work with this perhaps. I try to make sure again that all of the builds had a little bit of variety in their shape. So I think that naturally they will look a little bit different since they're shaped a bit different. Now I would like to try to build one of these fishing houses together. I really want them to feel like little huts rather than actual detailed buildings. So they're going to be very simple. So don't expect anything too elaborate. So I think first things first is I want to replace all of these oak planks with stripped spruce logs. And then from here, I think I will add in some of the oak planks, and I think I'll probably sprinkle in just a couple of stripped oak logs here and there just to add a little bit of variety and texture. Something kind of like this. I know it's not much right now, but we will detail it here in a second. And for the roofs for all of these builds, I don't really want them to necessarily look like the typical roof shapes that I go with. I want them to look more like huts. And in my mind, it's kind of more like a rounded roof, kind of like this, but just a little bit shorter. So I think I'm going to start off with some acacia slabs on the outside, kind of like this. Maybe something like this. I kind of did that same roof shape over there in the potion tower. And then the actual roof will be made out of spruce slabs. So we'll have that acacia trim with spruce slabs as the actual roof. Yeah, kind of like that. And then I want to add some acacia fences here in these little spaces just to add a little bit more shape. I find that whenever I'm building, I like to add just small little details like this. It really makes such a big difference. So I'm just going to add these all the way around the hut. And then replace this block with a staircase and then add an acacia door. And maybe we'll add a little lantern, and that's pretty much our first fishing hut complete. Again, I know it's very simple, but I do think it's effective, and I'm going to add 4 more builds kind of just like it. And I think once we have all of the builds in the village, it will actually start to feel like a little fishing village. And they're all going to be slightly different because all of the shapes are a little bit different. So I'm excited to see what I come up with all of the shapes. That's what's fun about doing a village like this with just outlines, because I kind of just get to build with the outlines. Instead of having a predetermined plan, I'm just building with what I came up with. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of the builds in. I don't really have much of a plan, but we're just going to see what I come up with. And then I want to make lots of little like railings around this dock and maybe some little archways, kind of like what we did over there with our dock. And then I want some cargo and stuff laying around, maybe some little boats, maybe some barrels, some chests, and some crafting tables, just lots of clutter. And then I also need to texture this dock as well, but I'm going to go ahead and get busy, get to work, and I guess I'll see what I come up with. And here we have the village mostly complete. This is so different than anything I've ever built before. I love the color palette that we went for. I think that this village is so fun to walk through because it truly feels like a cute little village. I love how all the houses are really close together, and I love how cluttered it feels. It feels like a little fishing village, which is definitely what I was going for, but I just love it. I love it so much. I know that I say that about every build, but I really do love this build. It's definitely very, very different, and it stands out a lot from the rest of the builds in our base. And then I also went ahead and did this little dock section too. I wasn't really planning on going all out and doing this dock section, but I was like, it just feels so not complete if I don't finish this area as well. And I did say that we were going to finish this area by the dock, so I went ahead and did that, and boy oh boy, does it really like transform this area so much. Don't worry, I do know that there is a lot of stone here, but I'm planning on adding lots of cargo and some stalls and things like that, maybe some little vendors selling some goods. And I think that's really going to break it up a lot. The village was definitely feeling a little bit spruce heavy, but I feel like I broke it up nicely with some greenery. Before I didn't have any greenery, and I feel like it looks a lot nicer with the greenery. I didn't do any interiors, honestly, because this took me 4 hours. This whole project took me 4 hours. 2 hours on the village and then 2 hours on this dock here. I know that I said that I was going to do the sugarcane farm in today's episode, but honestly, I don't think I'm going to get to it because, like I said, that just took me so long and I was very ambitious for this episode. So I think I'm going to kind of slow down just a little bit. So I do think that I would like to decorate a little bit on the dock and in the village because I have the build in, but I haven't really decorated anything, especially here for this dock. So I want to try to get in those stalls and the little piles of cargo that I was talking about. For this village, we have lots of oranges and warmer wood tones. So I really want to break it up and add some more cool tones. So I think for the stalls, I want to add some green, blue, and purple wool. I think that will break it up so nicely. And then I think I want to add some like strings of banners around. Maybe I can kind of connect them here to the lampposts and kind of have them in the village too. Banners with, again, green, blue, and purple wool. So I need to find some sheep. This is how I collect all my wool. That's how I collected my wool for my little pumpkin patch. I know there's a better way, but this is just the method right now. So I just run around and find some sheep and dye them the colors that I want. Do you see there are so many orange sheep and white sheep over here, but we're going to re-dye them all the colors that I want to use. And then, of course, shear them as well. And I did get these fancy shears, which I am so excited about, mending and unbreaking 3 shears. I honestly did not think that I was going to be so excited about this, but I'm so excited about my fancy shears. Oh, so you remember the creeper in a boat? Well, I accidentally made him explode, and it looks like we have a second creeper in a boat. Hello, creeper in a boat. So we have about a half a stack of all of the colors that I want to use. So that will be enough to get us started. I think I want to make stalls kind of like this little pumpkin stall over here. I might not do the stripes. I might just keep it one solid color. I'm not quite sure yet, but yep, this is kind of what I'm going to go for. Though I might make them a little bit smaller so that I can fit just a few more. I'm thinking 2 at least. I have a handy dandy, a shulker box here full of some supplies that I'm going to use. Alright, something kind of like this I'm thinking. They're very small, very tiny, but I think they do look like little stalls, and I think they add a little bit of color to the area. So I think I'm going to leave it just like this. I don't think anything has to be crazy and elaborate and big in order to make a difference in your world. I think you can still have really small things and have it still look good. Now, I'm going to make a bunch of banners. Unfortunately, it takes a lot of wool to make a banner, but I will make as many banners as I can. So I'm thinking about doing this with some oak fences, and I don't want them to be just like a straight line across necessarily, kind of have it a little bit more like funky looking. We're going for a more string of banners here, so I don't want it to be just necessarily straight across, but I think it looks pretty good. Definitely let me know what you think, but I definitely think it adds some color to this place. And I feel like it makes sense for a dock to have some more bright, showy decorations and things like that, so that whenever people come from a long ways away, they come here and they're wowed by our little town that we have here. I don't think I'll do the banners along every lamppost, but I'll probably do it along here, and then also maybe in the village. I was thinking something kind of like this, where I would put this here and then kind of like string it from like here to here or something like that. I don't know, something like this, and then kind of like hanging some banners down. Maybe I need to make it a little bit taller, but this is kind of what I was thinking, something kind of like that. Or I could also hang some lanterns and have kind of like some fairy lights almost stringing through the village. But I do think I need to make this one taller in order for it to look a little bit more big and grand. I think it just looks a little bit too low whenever I have it just 3 high. Maybe something like this. This is what I was thinking. So I think it definitely makes it feel more homey in a way. Like the villagers want to actually decorate their village and make it feel happy and cozy. And then maybe I'll place another one over here. I love the banners. I want to add a lot more. This is kind of my first time doing anything with banners, so I think it's a lot of fun. And I want to add some banners on both sides of the fence, not just on one side, because I definitely feel like it looks better like this rather than on the other side. And I want to maybe add another string of banners somewhere, maybe like from here to over here or something. But frankly, I just don't really have enough wool, so I'm going to have to collect a lot more wool because banners are actually pretty expensive. And the last thing that I would like to do is kind of add some cargo around the dock. I kind of did the same thing over here in the village, so I want to kind of add that here as well. So I'm just adding barrels, and then I kind of like to add these campfires and then extinguish the campfires. I don't have my shovel with me. I think I can extinguish it with water. Okay, that's a little annoying, but my shovel is so about to break, so I just don't have it with me. And then maybe some lanterns and some little flower pots, and then I have some little cacti here. And I think it just looks kind of cute. You know, it makes sense for a little dock area. And I think I'll add another little stack of cargo here. And we have another one, and then maybe I'll add one more over here in this corner. I definitely have plenty of space to continue adding stalls, so maybe I'll add another line of stalls along this wall here. But just adding this, I think, just makes it look so much better. It kind of breaks up the stone. The lanterns are so cool. It kind of looks like there's a little festival happening. I love the banners. I think that this is a project that I could just continue adding more and more detail to. There's so much that I can do with this little docking area over here with adding more stalls and more cargo areas, more lanterns, more banners. But I think I'll probably wrap this project up here for now. Like I said, I've spent so long on this little area, and honestly, I think I'm ready to take a break for now. I will probably do the interiors a little bit later, but I have some other smaller projects that I'd like to finish before we end today's episode. And I do want to add some villagers for sure. It feels just a little bit empty without villagers running around. I think that would be so fun to have lots of cute little villagers. We definitely have to make it a little bit more villager safe. I'm thinking about adding some gates here. And then I think that they'll be safe for the most part. Do you think that they would swim in this lake? I don't know if they would. Honestly, it would not surprise me, but I feel like they're just not about to like jump in the water and like go off to random places. But if so, then I can make it to where they can't like go out here and just like jump in the lake and go for a swim. I feel like if we just had some iron golems, then honestly they would be pretty safe, and then maybe block off some little areas. But it would be so fun to have villagers like roaming all around here, the dock and everything. I don't know. I kind of just want to like let some villagers go and just see what happens. Honestly, like we have that little kind of breeder over there, so even if a lot of them do die, then like, you know, we have more to go. We have plenty to go around. And then we could put like little villagers in here and they can like, be the little shop tenders. I still have yet to kind of work on this area up here. It still looks a little bit awkward right now. I think I just need to add a couple more things just to finish it off. And I have yet to make a pathway here. So we will probably get to that a little bit later. So I would like to do one more thing in today's episode. I get so many wonderful comments suggesting some things that I can do to my base and some smaller projects. And I think that at the end of every episode, I want to put all of those ideas into effect. So I got a comment mentioning that I should add some sea pickles to this pond to kind of brighten it up a little bit. And I love that idea. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I have one sea pickle to my name right now. But luckily, can I not bone meal the sea pickle? There's a way to do that, right? Apparently, I have to put this on a piece of coral. I didn't know that. Okay, sad day. I don't have coral anywhere close to me or sea pickles, honestly. So that project is going to have to go on standby, unfortunately. If the wandering trader comes and sells coral, honestly, I think I'll just buy some coral from him because my coral reef is pretty far away. Wow, I did not know that. I figured I could just grab a couple of sea pickles and bone meal them at home, but apparently I cannot do that. So sad, but another comment suggested that I should have some like waterfalls coming from the walls, and I love that idea as well. So I wanted to try that out a little bit. How does this look? Okay, maybe not right there, but I definitely want to add a couple around. Maybe I'll add one here, and maybe I'll add another little waterfall over here. Oh, actually, this is kind of my little like entrance to this cave. So I gotta fix that real fast. All right, there we go. And we can add another waterfall right here. And then last but not least, I think I want to put one way up here. I definitely love the idea of adding the waterfalls. So thank you for that suggestion. Let me see it with shaders on real fast though. I do really love the water texture for the shaders, but I definitely see what you all mean about adding some sea pickles in the pond to kind of light it up. I think that would definitely add a lot to it. And now that I look at it, I need to add a little glowberry over here on this glowberry vine. There we go. I think that's much better. And the little spore blossom effects with the water, I love it. I'm in love. And of course, our axolotls are actually doing pretty good. I love how I'm surprised at this point. Honestly, they're just so difficult to take care of for some reason. Maybe that's just me though. So don't worry, I will definitely add some sea pickles as soon as I have coral and or more sea pickles. And the last thing that I would like to do is actually add an axolotl statue outside of the sanctuary. I don't even know why I didn't think of this myself because honestly, it just makes so much sense. I wanted to add a statue and I was like, what do I do with this space over here? Obviously add a statue. So I want this statue to kind of be a fountain. I literally have no idea what I'm doing. So let me just kind of like play some blocks and see what happens. Does that look like an axolotl? I feel like it really does not. But like, does it just look really weird? The thing is that it has to be kind of on the small side. So I don't want to make it too big. If I were to make it any bigger than 3 wide, I would have to do 5 wide because it has to be an odd number. And then it would end up being this big. And that's a big head, you know? Maybe I should replace these little walls with stairs and see if that looks any better. I don't know if that helped or not. Can you tell it's an axolotl? I guess that's what I should be asking here. Can you tell that it's an axolotl? And then, I don't know, just have like some greenery kind of like hanging down or something. Okay, I don't think it's terrible. I think it's growing on me. I want to add a little bit more greenery around. Unfortunately, I can't really plant flowers or bushes or anything on the sand. So we're just going to have to place it somewhere else. All right, he is kind of cute. I think I'll leave him here for now, just like this. Maybe a little bit out of place. I just have to try to make it small. That's the biggest issue here. I don't have a lot of space right there on that beach, so I can't make it too large. But I think that is going to do it for today's episode. Don't worry, I will try to get those sea pickles in the sanctuary as soon as I can. In next episode, we are going to continue this village building project. How did I even think at one point that I could build an entire village and also a giant sugarcane farm in one episode? I have no idea. But we will be building our automatic sugarcane in the next episode and populating this village so we have a bunch of cute little villagers running around. So I hope you have enjoyed this episode, and I hope that you all have a lovely, lovely day, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!